What's up, guys? Sleek here. And if you're struggling with money early on in Anno 117 Pax Romana, this video is going to fix that. I'm running through the most consistent ways to boost your income and keep your city growing smooth. Let's jump right in. All right, before we get into the tips, let's talk about a few things you should know about your money making for Anno 117. This is obviously the money that we have available to us at this time. This is the money that we make per minute. And you can see below the things that are giving us income and the things that are giving us expenses. You can see that my production buildings are taking up a lot of my expenses and land taxes. Land taxes you can't really control. But you can see right here, it'll give you a little bit of a breakdown on where your money is getting spent and where your money is coming in. We can see right here, this is the island income that I make for this island. And just to show you, I just got another island and you can see zero income on this island right here. It's just costing me money just having these land taxes and buildings running. But that's how you're able to tell which islands are producing well for you and which islands are taking your money for right now. If you click on your character in the middle of the screen, a lot of people don't know this, but you can sort this column by profit, and this will show you which buildings are costing you the most money being run. But if you click it again, this will show you your most profitable buildings. This doesn't mean that you're making 110 a minute. It means that you are supplying 110 per minute of the tunics, for example, to your civilization. Plus 2, that means I have 55 houses here that are all being supplied tunics. That's basically what that means. All right, money making method number 1, the simplest. We all know it. It's the whole reason that we play Anno, but it's fulfilling needs of your population. If you come down here, if you didn't know, you can always see the income that gets boosted by providing a certain need for your population. So as you can see right here, if I put a market, every building that's getting their market need fulfilled is +1 income in this bar right here. Every residence that is getting sardines is also +1 income. Now, if you look, porridge does not give any income. You're just adding population by fulfilling this need. You don't actually make money by fulfilling it. And you can even see that if you come in here and you look at consumer goods, we're losing money by providing porridge. But that's up to you if you want to balance it. It's really not that big of a deal. The -16. There are ones later on down the line that you lose way more money on. So that's just kind of an up to you thing. In the first level of civilization, the Libertide, the tunics give +2, meaning that every single person within this range is getting +2 because I'm providing that for them. And the Pilius gives +1. So we can use this island out here as an example. And if I just add some houses in here real quick, and I provide them with sardines, we can see that if we speed up time real fast, once these sardines actually start getting fulfilled, this will turn into a whopping 4 more income that we can add to our balance right here. The other side of this coin, when it comes to this money making method, is to first off click on this and make sure that you are supplying everything that you need to supply for the population that you have right now. But once you have that, the easiest way is to just add more population, and you can see how much the income is going up just from doing that one little square. As long as you have the supply for it, you can always just add more population. And if you can handle it, if your infrastructure can handle it, I almost just doubled my income per minute by doing that right there. Now, the second money-making method that we have is one of the coolest additions, I think, to this Anno from other ones that I've played. And it's the area of effect that comes with production buildings now. So as you can see, if you look in this circle for my Pilius, everything with the green arrow going up is adding 1 more income to those residences. So if I can show you this, I'll move this over here. And if you look in the top left corner, when I put this down, I just lost 70 coins by doing that. If I put it back in here, you can see it will go back up to 246. So you can strategically plan. The spinner is the same way. you can strategically plan to have these things within your residences to make you more money. Now, on the flip side of that, sometimes, like a bakery, for example, if you can look, the income will go up +2 for all the residences in the area, but your fire safety will go down -2. So this will go down -2 per residence, but this will go up +2. That is up to you if it is worth that risk or not. So if I put this somewhere, and you can always see the affected buildings right there. So if I want to min max this, this would be the spot to put it for the most income. So if I put this down, once the money actually starts flowing into it, we can put a warehouse right here just to speed this up.
Deals out of me that way.
This is going to go all the way over here. And then once it is going, now that this is operating, you can see that this just bounced up another 100 just from that. You will see that it will go to 106 because it was touching 53 buildings.
Fire has started in your city.
And just in time for that, we can put this down now because we messed with the fire safety. So that's karma. Depending on how your income situation is going, you can either move bakeries so that they are not touching a lot of things. So your fire safety is at 138 right now, and your money's at 379. Fire safety goes down to -36, but you lose almost 100 income. So that's just a balancing act with you with all these different things. You can see that Garum has the same principle here. Everything within this range would get +1 income, but everyone would lose -2 happiness. So it's the same issue. Now, the third money-making method we have is one of the simplest, but if you're new to Anno or you haven't looked into it, people don't really know this is an option. You can come into this part of your trading post and passively sell anything that you are overproducing in your civilization. So if I click on this wood right here and I press sell, whenever, let's say 130, whenever this number gets over 130, and we can also do coal, whenever this number gets over 130, AI on the map will send a boat over and you can see that it will sell items. This won't affect your balance because this is just passively happening and it's not something that the game will track, but your income will go up over time based off the trades that come in. So I'm going to speed up time real quick and just see a boat come in and show you what it looks like. So as you can see, we have one of the AI, Valeria, right here. She's coming in and she's going to buy those goods that we have. And we just made 140 off of that, but it would just be sitting in your warehouse if you didn't sell it. So once you have hundreds of goods in here, and some of these things are worth way more money than wood and coal, it could reach the tens of thousands. Now, the fourth money-making method is pretty simple as well. Every AI on the map in front of their civilization is going to have these little lighthouses right here, and you can do contracts for them. So if you send this girl 27 tunics, she would pay you 3,500. If we go here and find this guy's front, we can click here, and if we send him bread, he'll give us 3,800. If we send this guy 15 tiles, then we'll get 3,000. So what I can do is just put 15 tiles on my boat. I can send it over to his lighthouse. I can accept this contract. And now once I deliver the tiles to his lighthouse, we'll just get an easy 3K. Once you get over here, there will be a little pop-up and you can just press deliver to Dorian's lighthouse.
Look at those gains.
And there we go. Plus 3,000. They also have them available for the AI traders on the map. So this one is basically just going, they'll put 2 crates anywhere in the water along the entire map, and you have to go fetch them for her. This one is the same thing. They have 2 crates. And This one's a little bit special because it also gives you a specialist that you can put anywhere on your island. So this one would affect Garum and it would give you a +1 happiness. All right, so for our fifth money making tip, I have a little bit of a simulation that's going on here. Let's say that one of the other AIs got aggressive on you and you started freaking out and you started making all these weapons. All these buildings right here are weapon creating buildings. But let's say in this scenario, it calmed down. You don't need them anymore. One of the easiest ways to make money is by not spending money, right? So if you look right here, we're losing 87 each minute. If I come in here and I can even, for those of you guys that don't know this, if I hover over this pause and I hold shift, this just pauses all the production of the weaponsmiths on the island. We just went from -87 to -2. These are also making iron. The only reason that we need iron is to make weapons. So if I do the same thing, if I hold shift, now we're +30. This isn't the best case scenario, but if you are in a pinch, if you are almost negative money, you can do the same thing. We can come to the iron mines here, press shift. We just went from -87 to +60 in the matter of 2 minutes, all because of just pausing a few production buildings. This isn't a long-term fix, but you can do this with almost anything on the island. You can also see that we have maxed out sheep here. So for a little bit, if we are not selling the sheep actively through trading, we could just pause this, and this only costs 4 points per minute. But you understand the same scenario. Same with this. -8, pause, this will go up 8. Same situation. I want to say a little bit of a caveat here. This only works if in your game settings, when you set up the save, you have it where inactive upkeep is on none. If you have it on full, even if the process is paused, you're still incurring the full maintenance cost. So if you're on an easier save, this is an option. But if you are doing a more veteran route, then this isn't an option for you. Now, the sixth money making method that I have for you is kind of an active one and a passive one, depending on what you want to do. Let's take those weapons that we just had, for example. If you come into this screen, by the way, just a little side tangent. If anyone knows, you used to be able to, on other games, on other Anno games, be able to sort this by the selling price. I don't know how to do that in Anno 117. I don't know if it was an overlook, but if anyone knows how to do that, please drop a comment below because it does bother me. So anyways, let's take these weapons, and as simple as it sounds, we're just going to take them over to Diana over here, and she will buy anything for the price that it sells for. The reason why we do this actively and bring these over to her instead of selling them through our warehouse is because selling them through here, through the way that we did the wood, you can't control how much an AI is buying. They could buy 5, they could buy 10, they could buy 100, as long as you never go below whatever the sell when above number is. But doing this method, we have a way of making sure that we can sell the amount that we want each time. You can do this a little bit more passively, but it involves another boat. So what you would want to do is set up a trade route. We're going to add our little small boat that we bought here. We click on the trade route that we want to do. We're going to add weapons. We're going to bring it over to Diana. And now passively, this boat will take over weapons and sell them to Diana, and by the time that the boat comes back, you would assume that these guys are making enough to replenish that trade route over and over again. Now that our boat is here, we can do the active trade and sell these for about 3 grand. And that would work out well if we were in a tight bind, which means that our trade route, every time that it delivers, would give us another 1,400 in money that we can use over and over again. The 7th money making method that I have for you is actually buying the specialists that the AI sell, more specifically the ones that do income. So as you can see here, if you buy this guy for 16,500, it will affect all the income for it will affect all the residences in that area plus 1.2 income per household. So in the long run, this will definitely become profitable. So we're going to buy this guy.
Let me tally that up for you.
And we're going to take him back and show you what happens. By the way, while we're waiting, if you guys want a full video on specialists, things like this, it's impossible to do in this video. So I could do a full video, but you got to comment that below if you do want a video on the best and worst specialist for you to have. All right, so once your specialist gets here, we're going to take him off your boat and put him on your island just by dragging him into the post. And now if you have a villa around, or if you have one of these offices as well, they work with either of these. They just can't be overlapping. You click into the villa here, and you can press this specialist, and I'm at 409 right now. That just gave me plus 100 right there.
What you can get away with.
That just boosted my income by 100. Just for having that person in the villa. And if I extended the population, all of these buildings would also boost my income by 1.2 per household. Now, at some point, there's going to be a quest that shows up that also this person would be available. I chose this specifically for this run because we're doing an income boosting thing, but this guy does the same thing, but he boosts the market in your area. So if you had a market here, and you had a market here, anything that these are touching would be boosting this income even more. So you would just put this guy into it, and now I'm at 501. That just went up to 661. Another 150 just from adding that person into the villa. And the more that you expand within these circles, and you could do the same thing if you had an office right here. If I put one of them into this area, this would be the same thing, this guy, but this is from the Hall of Fame, which is a whole nother area. But they would be boosting the exact same way. All right, the 8th money-making method that we have is actually making and then selling boats to the AI. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. We're going to make one of these small boats and one of these small boats. This one costs 1,500 and some materials to make, and this one costs 4,000 and some materials to make. And we're going to see what the profit is once we sell these. All right, so we're here, our small trade boat. Let's see what it sells for. It sells for 26.25, so that's around a 1,100 profit. Not too bad for 5 minutes of work. And if we sell this one costs us 4 grand. Sells for 68.25, so that's 2,800. This is a better opportunity if you already have an excess of ships and you just need some cash real quick. This isn't a way to really force yourself to make some money. This is just a way to get some quick money from some excess ships that you aren't using. All right, the last money-making method that we're going to talk about in this video actually comes down to your research and your religion. So if we look at this real quick, there are a couple different things that you can do with research just from a quick skim. I could come up with a whole list, and I'm probably going to do a whole video on the best and worst research things to do, but let's just look at this. So this one, for example, market forces. This doesn't directly, just adding this research, help your income, but what this does is it extends the range of your markets. So let's just say that we have some houses that are, let's put them over here. Now, before I research this didn't reach right here, and it still doesn't reach right here. It probably stopped around here. But now that I have this research, just extending those little bits will now be able to profit off this research even more. It's not a huge deal, but when you have 8 different markets and it extends across your whole island, it does add a good amount to what can happen. Another research thing that can help out is when you have area of effects that get added. So this research, for example, every fishing hut and cockle pit when you're in Albion will now do +3 income area of effects. So I'm going to actually research this and then we'll come back and I'll show you what happens. Now, what this is going to do, just like we have the tunics here and we have the Piliuses that give +1 area of income to all these buildings that are surrounding this area. Now, what ends up happening is that our fish markets here, now everything within this area, you can see why it doesn't do it. I'm going to just show this. Everything within this circle now is getting +3 income to my city. So if I delete this just to show, it's at 643. If I put 1 in there again, now it's at 661. We need 2. So what you can do to min-max this if you want is to find another shore. You can put in another fish right here, and then you would build a bunch of buildings right here. If you have 40 different buildings within the circle, then it would be plus 120 income. That's just a way to min-max it. Not that big of a deal in this part of the game, but if you ever do need money, that is something that you can do. There are a few more things on the research level, but I'm not going to go through all of them. You could just scan through and see what is actually useful and not. But let's get on to the religion. Religion is its whole different beast. And I think it's one of the coolest parts of Anno 117. Religion is another one that's not directly impacting your income. It's not going to directly, based off what you're doing with religion, it's not going to make this number go up or down. But there are some cool things that you can do. One, bread is one of the best things that we can make as of right now for money sales. Beer is another good one. Olive oil is another good one. I recommend if you have the resources on the island, Ceres is usually my starter religion for almost every island that I do, just because it helps with bread and porridge, and then it will get to the olive oil once you're there. But you can do some other ones. You can do fish. Garum is another part that is very profitable if you sell. You can always come down here. You can see that garum is plus 24. Bread is 19. Or were the other ones that we had in here? We had olive oil. That's plus 28. So it just depends on what you're producing on your island, on what you're going to want to make. And then you could just passively sell it. Because what these religions do is that it increases the production of what's happening on your island. So once I reach this level, it's going to go to plus 30. Once I reach this level, it's going to go to plus 40, 50, 60, so on. So this does twofold. One, you can passively trade all the excess that you're making, which is really helpful. And two, it prevents us from having to make more of this production. If we're all the way at 200%, we won't need as many wheat farms. We won't need as many grain mills that are ironically on fire right now. We won't need as many bakeries that take out 14 per. We would be saving 50 coins a minute just from having the 200% production. So that's a way that it helps. There are other ones in here. We have a big weapon surplus right now, and we're doing that on purpose. If we want, we can hype it up even more by picking this one. It would increase the production, and we could be making 300 weapons a minute by the end of us being all the way to the end of this line. If you have a lot of passive trade, you can always take Mercury here, and it makes the items that you're selling passively more for the trade revenue. That's just another option to do. There's also, when you get into the global part here, this is just a little sneak peek. If you get Mercury to this tier in the global sphere of religion, you get this shrine that does plus 2 income to any area it touches. It's basically another area of effect thing. So that's another way that you can help out your money in the early game, because it doesn't take that long to get that first shrine. But there you have it. That's it for today's early game money guide. If this video helped you, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the Anno 117 tutorials I got coming. I've been streaming Anno week over week on Twitch, so if you have any questions or want help live, you can always hop in there anytime. The link's in the description. I'm going to come out with more videos. I want to do a research video, a religion video, a war video. So stay tuned for all that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.